Hello everybody, welcome back to the Robinson Trek. We are still in Prague, but wanted to take a minute to talk about Berlin, Gustrow, and Rostock, and just our impressions of those cities. Like we said before, we want to take a little bit of time, talk about our experiences, kind of give an overview of each place that we visit. So we've done London, we've done Dublin, and now we want to take a minute to talk about Germany, particularly up in the north. So we haven't hit Munich yet, that's going to be our next stop, but for now, let's talk about Berlin and Gustrow and Rostock. Ellie, what are your thoughts?
I liked Berlin, but I really liked the north of Germany. I mean, Gustrow and Rostock were incredible. We got to see the ocean. We got to, dip our feet to the Baltic Sea, and
Yeah.
It was just amazing. We were there on one of their only days of sunshine that they've had so far, and it was just beautiful.
A little windy.
Yeah, it was actually, quite windy.
Typical beach weather. Yeah.
But it was neat because there were windsurfers, so they had like big kites surfing on the waves. It was really neat. And one interesting fact is that they don't have high tide and low tide. It's just a consistent tide the entire year. So
Yeah, it was really interesting. It
Yeah.
reminded us a little bit of back home, like the Washington and Oregon coast.
yeah,
But just absolutely beautiful up there. We really liked it. Very different. It's a place that most tourists don't go, so it was really great. Our hosts Ilka and Leo were just absolutely wonderful. We had a great time with them, and it was just really neat to see an area that most tourists just don't
Yeah.
bother to visit. There's
Well,
really not much to see up there, except for like tourists like us that just want to see people and kind of experience a different culture. And it's just a different culture up there.
it is a different culture. But it was funny because we would speak English and we would get all of these funny looks because nobody up there speaks English. I mean,
Well, not nobody, but not as many people.
Not as many people. It's not as common.
Not
as
like in Berlin.
tourists.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and even just little cultural things. So I went with a walk with Ilka to a bakery to go get bread for the morning, and as we walked by a neighbor, I just said hello, which is basically in German you would just say hello as a greeting, and he looked at me like I was from outer space, and I tried to make it sound somewhat German, but as we walked, Ilka said, it's not that you sounded wrong, it's not like you pronounced it wrong, it's just people don't do that here. It's very kind of private. People don't really interact except for when they need to interact. It's just very different culturally,
Yeah.
a little different than Berlin.
Yeah.
Still a little harsh sometimes,
Yeah, just
but helpful.
Helpful, but yeah, I mean, the German people are very blunt.
Yes.
They will let you know what they're thinking all the time, which is kind of refreshing, but also very different from America. I
Yes.
like to smoke this over. They don't so much.
Yeah, well, in fact, even like sitting at dinner saying, that maybe there was something that we didn't like as much, and we would say, oh no, that's enough. And they would just say, oh, if you don't like it, just say you don't like it. We don't care about that here. You don't have to smooth things over. So it was good. It was really fun. So Gustrow, Rostock, definitely a must visit. Only a couple hours north.
Yeah.
Easy
Well,
to go
like,
visit.
maybe an hour north. Hour and a half.
Yeah, hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
So a little bit of a train ride, but definitely worth seeing. Go. You can. The train goes all the way to Rostock if you want, and that would only take you about a couple hours, and it's just beautiful up there. Worth seeing.
Gorgeous.
If you're in Berlin, jump on the train, especially if you have a Eurail pass.
And they've got fantastic restaurants. There's a boulevard strip that's just amazing. Tons of little shops that are, they range anywhere from high-priced to mid-priced boutiques. But great shopping, great restaurants. We had an amazing fish platter. Oh, so good.
Yeah, yeah.
So, fresh caught from the sea.
Worth visiting. So do it if you can. As far as Berlin goes, I know the last time we filmed in Berlin, it was right in front of the Topography of Terror and in front of kind of sort of by Checkpoint Charlie by the old Berlin Wall. And it was right before we went in, and it was very
Heavy.
very heavy.
Yeah, just they're reflecting on what went on during World War II, specifically, the history of Hitler in Germany, and
How it affected places like Prague.
I mean, just everywhere, just thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. It was just incredible. We spent probably a good hour and a half, 2 hours in that museum, and it was just, we came out and it was just very somber. So it was a good reflection.
It was almost overwhelming at times, especially there's a section where you walk around a corner and they have these big plaques hanging from the ceiling, and that's sort of what you're reading from, and they have it in both German and in English. And you walk around a corner and you can see the different plaques that are hanging, kind of, you know, you would read this one and then this one and then this one, and as you look down you see all the countries. So you see, well, at that time it would have been Czechoslovakia, Norway, Austria, Germany, and as you walk down, they have information on what the impact of those different countries, as far as how it was affected by the Nazis, and it was just very heavy, very overwhelming, but definitely worth a visit. So it's right by the Checkpoint Charlie Museum, and it's free to get in, and just it's worth seeing. You have to see it.
What struck me the most was that it was silent. I mean, there were probably at least 100 people in there, and it was just silent.
And it's one big open room, so you're around 100 other people, and like I said, it's just overwhelming. But it's a must see. It's a must see. And again, it is free to get in, so you gotta take the time while you're there. So transportation was really good in Berlin. If you have a
Eurail.
Yeah, a Eurail pass, it's free to just jump on the S-Bahn, which is their main train. I think that's all around Germany, right?
Yeah, pretty much all in Germany. You can get on the S-Bahn, the U-Bahn, the DB trains. All of it's covered under your pass. So transportation in Berlin, if you have the Eurail, is quite affordable.
Yes.
Because you've already paid for it.
Yeah, which is great. We didn't realize that until later. So definitely, when you buy your tickets, they send you a little info pack. Read the info pack. Fortunately, we only bought
one.
Yeah, we only bought one ticket the whole time, and it wasn't very expensive. But definitely take the time to read all that.
Yeah.
Hopefully the wind isn't affecting too bad, but we'll keep things moving here. So nightlife.
We didn't really do a whole lot for nightlife. We hung out with our hosts, and then when we were in Berlin, we kind of turned in early because we were really tired. But the nightlife in Berlin can get a little crazy. If you want to go to a party or what they call discos, you can find them anywhere.
Raves, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
a lot
very,
going
very
on.
Popular.
Very alternative. Very alternative city. So lots of graffiti, but not like it is back home where it's all gang related. But lots of graffiti, very kind of reminiscent of like the 90s grunge you see a lot around there. So, I mean, definitely there's a lot to do in the night as far as nightlife, if that's what you're into.
Yep, and if you don't know where to go, just go into any shop that has somebody in their 20s working, and they will be more than happy to tell you where to go or a website to check into. They're very open about that sort of.
And very excited about it. Like it's really something that a lot of people, the younger people, really like about Berlin. So just look for mullets and go into mohawks. We saw a lot of mullets and mohawks. Again, very reminiscent of like the early 90s.
Along with a lot of drag queens.
Yes, that too. Very interesting.
Incredibly entertaining.
Yeah, we wish we would have had more time to do like one night out in Berlin because it was just very different.
It was fascinating to people watch.
Yeah.
So,
very much so.
Food in Berlin is great.
Awesome.
Find a bakery. Fantastic pastries and breads, and they're very inexpensive. So eating in Berlin and in Rostock, it was just wonderful.
Find bread, and the more grain that you see like stuck to it, the tastier the bread is. It's just, oh my gosh, amazing. Like you don't want to put anything on it because you don't want to ruin how good it is by itself. So.
Yeah, but just you go to a local market, you get some breads, some salamis, or I guess we call them pepperoni sticks.
Yep.
You know, some
cheeses,
and you can get a very cheap meal, and it's fantastic.
So let's see, and not too pricey.
Not too pricey. It wasn't
really
too bad.
about online with about everywhere else that we've been. If you want to spend, you know, really the equivalent of about $4, you can go into a market and get a couple of beers, some bread, some pepperoni sticks, and you'd be good for a meal.
For a person.
Yeah, it might be closer to like $6 or $8
a person, but still, which is fairly affordable.
Pretty cheap compared to some places that we've been. And restaurants about the same as everywhere else. It's about like eating in Seattle.
Well, it's like Red Robin prices.
Yeah.
Pretty much everywhere that we went. So.
Right. You can go to more expensive places if you want, but we kept it simple.
We tried to.
Yeah. And then as far as what to see, what not to see, really, it's wouldn't be too fair for us to talk about that too much. We went to the free stuff. We went to the Topography of Terror, like we said, see that for sure. Checkpoint Charlie. We didn't go into the museum, but just kind of walked around that area. Yeah, absolutely. So there's a million things to see that are free.
Make sure you do go, but like the topography of Terror with the Berlin Wall, that is a must-see. Like it's you have to do it when you're there.
Yeah.
So, you know, go to Museum Island. They've got 3 museums on there. That's a really nice place if you want to pay for somewhere to go. They've got a really nice gallery there.
Amazing museums there with some really actually amazing artifacts. If we had time, we would have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot to see there. We just didn't get a chance to. We just ran out of time. We're glad that we spent the time in Gustrow and Rostock, though. That was more in line with what this trip is all about for us. So, so yeah, as far as what to see, what not to see, go to the topography of Terror, go to the Berlin Wall, go to Brandenburg Gate, and that was really neat. And the I'm trying to think of some of the other areas that we saw, but there's just a ton of things to see for free. The city's great, food is great. It's
nice to walk around. It's fairly easy to navigate.
And really simple to just jump on a train and jump off the train.
And the parks have bunnies.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yes, the parks did indeed. They had bunnies. They had bunny
squirrels,
rabbits.
just bunnies.
Bunny rabbits. Yep, Ellie was very excited about it. So anyway, Berlin, again, another great place you got to visit. Get up to the north if you can. And we're looking forward to reviewing Prague, of course, and Munich when we get there. We're really looking forward to going back to Germany, to be honest. We're really excited about it. So, anything else for now?
I think that's it for now.
Okay. All right. Well, then, until next time, we'll see you back here. Auf Wiedersehen. Bye.